The last week of August, we had 2 formal pitches, plus I had a 2020 planning meeting with one of our clients. What do all free pitches come with?
Free advice.
Hello, and welcome back from our summer vacation. It's James and Paul from Strategic Content Labs, and we've been off for a little while, a little hiatus. We both took vacations. We both ended up in Greece. Separately. Yeah. So now we're back. School started, back to regular schedule. Get back to doing these once a week. Anyways, travel done, and then August hits. And the last week of August, we had 2 formal pitches, plus I had a 2020 planning meeting with one of our clients. So there was not a lot of room for video making during that month. So let's talk about those pitches a little bit.
Yes, let's do that.
What do all free pitches come with?
Free advice.
So, along with spec work and other imaginary things you do to try to impress your clients and demonstrate that you can actually do the work that either they've asked for, they need, or you think they want. And there's always a little bit of guessing around these things. You always come to the table with a perspective on what they should be doing with their business. And I think in both cases we had that. The one pitch was an organization who's currently doing their own magazine. And we think there's a lot of opportunity for them to perhaps work with us to outsource most of that magazine or parts of it. But a lot of companies have to think about, well, why are we making the magazine and who are we making it for and what are our goals? And so there's some business goals there, but there's also some creative goals that you have to define. And so one of the things I like to say is really, what's the value proposition to your audience? What's your magazine about? Mm-hmm. I think some of the best magazines are pretty clear in that respect, specifically in the consumer space. And I think it's very important when anybody's doing custom that they do that as well. I don't know if you have any good examples.
Red Bulletin is one thing that's very much defined. It's very focused on the brand. There's the adrenaline sports side of it, and the magazine reflects that. I think any consumer magazine that's still around right now, from ones that I've read like Car and Driver, Esquire, GQ, anyone that's still around has a clearly defined mandate, even because it's a huge struggle now in the consumer magazine space. So they're making sure they're either slicing their demographic to make sure, okay, we're going to focus on men aged 25 to 54, or we're going to focus on men aged 25 to 35. And we're going to say, that's our niche now, this is where we're going, and this is where we're headed. So those ones are the ones that have survived for a long time, probably haven't figured out.
So the second pitch was actually less about the content. In fact, that's the one we produced more spec content for, and we said, look, we could absolutely do this kind of material. But the trick was providing financial options. At the end of the day, magazines and production magazines can be expensive. It really depends on your scale of operations. We can make it very affordable and do it very inexpensively. Doing a really nice job is more expensive. Depends on the nature of the content. Depends on the nature of the print and circulation. In this case, it's a publication where there's a lot of original content, and there would need to continue to be a lot of original content, and that can be quite costly and difficult to produce very well. Right. And this pitch was much less about our ability to produce that, because we've got a wide range of contributors from, frankly, around the globe. Mm-hmm. But the side of it is, how do you make that a strong financial operation? So one of the things there is, hey, maybe if there's an ad sales component, how much of an offset can that be to the cost of producing publication? Are there options for shipping distribution? Can it be delivered or provided in a different fashion? There's always ways to restructure the financials so that it works better for an organization and perhaps reduces the risk or increases the upside potential. So way less sexy than, hey, let's see this beautiful creative, right. But or where do you want your magazine to go? But certainly a very important part of the question is, how do you make this work financially? And I think that's continues to be an important part of our industry in general, and a really critical piece of the pitch.
I think in any kind of custom environment, anyone in the creative side understands too that there's financial realities you have to work within, and budgets you have to maintain and things like that. It's probably more of a focus in the custom space than it would be in the consumer space. Obviously, the budgets are what they are. They always have been. You have to maintain the budget and work within with the money you have. But I think any person working in a creative field in the custom side of the business understands, there's a client here and there's money involved. We have to stick to the budget.
The last one that we kind of did was more of a 2020 planning session, and that was very interesting because that organization has had a partnership between 2 brands for 20 years now. very, very stable long-term relationship, and educational content is driving their business pretty effectively. And we've done some work for them in the past that focuses on more of an educational angle, and that has kind of been entertaining and informative at the same time, and serves their product and market very well. So the question became, well, what else can we do in that direction that's going to work for us? We've been thinking about influencers. So we get into the influencer conversation pretty often. And I really think the market is starting to turn on the influencers, not turn against them, but the emphasis, I think, is more upon creators now than influencers. And this is exactly the trick. I said, look, you work with a really big influencer and you rent their audience for a week or a month. You have some mentions, right? You say, oh, this product, it's a great product. I use it. I like it. Might be true, might be false. There's a lot of vulgarity in church and state in that space. And it really, every participant in that space is following their own set of rules. There isn't really consolidation around that. Listen, well, why, given you have stability and longevity in this relationship and you have a very stable customer base, why not produce something yourself? And that comes back to, can you produce, instead of having, a campaign that is just like some articles plus some advertising, why not link it together? Why not have a print component, a digital component, and a video component, and have the video carry the storyline? And have everything else kind of supporting and connecting to that. And then hopefully, if you do this for long enough and consistently enough, and it's entertaining and engaging enough, then you're going to build your own audience and you're going to build up demand around that.
The influencer, in that case, would definitely should take a backseat to the brand, because the brand has the credibility, has the recognition, and they, like you said, they can stand out over the influencer. They don't need someone to, like you said, to kind of borrow the audience or to kind of step in on their behalf. It's like they've already got a brand. They already have a lot of credibility, so why not just leverage that and create something and be the publisher that go to the brand as publisher, as we talked about before. That makes a lot of sense.
So there you go. So focus on your audience goals and your business goals. Free advice piece number one. And of course, what that means for your organization will be very specific. Think about the financial options is not always a straightforward thing, and there's a lot of ways to structure agreements so that it makes a lot of sense. And then finally, if you can build your own audience, build your own audience.
Do it.
Do it around your brand. Do it around your message. Don't just borrow somebody else's for 3 weeks and spend a lot of money on somebody who everybody knows is trying to influence you, when you can be delivering something of real value in the context of your brand, the way custom content always is intended to do, but taking advantage of more modern channels like digital and online video. The last thing that's kind of exciting is that we are actually hiring. So we have a couple of open positions right now. So if you're watching this, and there's not a lot of you who do, so if you are, you definitely care. We are looking for a few different positions. We are looking for an additional media sales coordinator. That's an important role, so somebody to work with our media sales team and keep everything under control in that department. We will be looking for an account manager / project manager. So if you're in that space and you want to work with a very dynamic team focused on content and developing a host of new business, and you've got some project management chops and you're very personal and know how to work with clients, I think that's a good opportunity for the right person. And then we're actually looking for one, but probably two, senior account managers for our media sales team. So we have a couple open positions there we're trying to fill. So if you're in media sales, understand print media sales or experiential, give us a call, give us a ring, send in your resume, we'll talk to you. Certainly you can leave a comment in the video below and we'll take a look at that, and I'll be in touch myself. And yeah, this is a pretty exciting place to be right now, because it's not just little old Totem. It's all of
that's gone.
Yeah, that's gone. Totem's evaporated, and we're part of Strategic Content Labs, which is part of St. Joseph's Media, which is now a very large organization that has a substantial influence in the marketplace. So yeah, that's it for this week. Really just wanted to kind of get things caught up after the summer, a bunch of pitches, and get back on track with our regular schedule. If any of this is interesting, give us a call. Happy to chat anytime with anyone. Thanks very much, and we'll talk to you next week.